Naruto 6:45. I was late, but it couldn't be helped. All right, let me go ahead and get to the clinch fish of Sasuke, because I think it's saying a lot. Now, it's humorous in the one way, because he's having his Kiba moment, right? Which it's like, what the hell is Naruto going to be able to do next, right? And he's got a little bit of technique, envy, and all that kind of stuff going on there. And then it's not so funny, because he's also having a Madara moment, is what it really looks like. Where he looks at the first and he's like, I can't beat this guy yet. But the competitive part of him's like, I'll never let it go. I mean, look at Madara in the first right now. This is how Sasuke is. I'll never let this go. So it's not just the revenge. He's got revenge going on and this crazy competitiveness that's helped him to get where he's at. But it's also destructive. So, right back to Team Snake. Yeah, he goes to the gray and then back to the dark side. All right, the Nine Tails. I love this. The whole thing, even though I spent a fair amount of time on it, I agree with it. Because it doesn't just show the companionship and everything, and to the level where they're at. And even Kurama's like, wow, you're getting like a little too freaking, familiar with me. But it shows that, like, emotionally and mentally, they really are on a similar level. They're both childlike, okay, or childish, however you want to look at it, right? Except Kurama, of course, is a lot older. He's got a lot more knowledge, and they can laugh at each other. I like that. But he's explaining the whole thing about. He's like, well, I could have let you have my chakra when you were in Hermit mode, and I'll let you do it now. And then now we've got the plus eye mode with the kind of other little thing added to it. So it looks pretty crazy. So that's awesome. And then, of course, the second, his whole thing, right, yet to remind us all again, he's like Naruto's a lot like the first Hokage, because he's the one that's going to complete the work. I mean, the first was willing to commit suicide for peace, to bring peace to the Naruto universe, which is pretty crazy. Definitely committed. Okay, a couple of things before I get to the whole, predictions of how this battle is gonna go out. Okay, kind of a reminder, because Kishimoto keeps showing us, even in the artwork of the Jubi, that this thing was really a flawed Jubi. Okay, which we know. I mean, even look at the end when he's going in, his head's all. I mean, it looks pretty crazy. The Jubi does not look good. And that, like I said, if you bought that Jubi, you would get your receipt and take it back to the store. It's totally messed up. Now, the other part is that going hastily into the infinite Tsukiyami. All right, Madara's comment is like, he's already going into this. So that plus Obito, to me, is equals epic fail. Okay, because Obito has done that. He's been great at manipulating, throwing people around to do his fighting for him, but as we all know, when it comes down to him fighting somebody, typically, not always, but typically he ends up getting beat. And he doesn't like to do it because he just seems to have this ability to fail hard. Okay, now, the whole thing of the return of the Sage of the Sixth Path, I'm just going to throw this in here before we get to the last part. I think that's going to be at the very end, when it's complete, when everything's basically fulfilled. The Sage of the Sixth Path will fill in some blanks for us, and he'll probably say to the newly formed, the tailed beasts, whenever they get their new bodies, which will probably be human bodies, which they can live out their life, whatever, that, he'll have a little conversation with them. Also, I'm getting a little nervous. I'm one of the people, I don't even know what the percentage is. I think most people think we're in the last arc. I don't really know. But I have thought we're going to get like a second mini arc, but it's September and this thing ends at the beginning of the year. I'm getting a little nervous that this just may be. I mean, it's not a big deal. It's just kind of, I still think there'll probably be some little mini thing that happens with Oshamaru. But anyway, I'll get to that in a moment. And what's going to happen as far as the last battle? Now, is Naruto's Hermit Beast Bomb going to be enough? Probably not. Okay, probably not. Now, the Hermit Rasengan didn't do it, but the Beast Bomb, probably do a lot better. But Dara's trump card, what is it? We should, at least, even if you can't play it anymore, we should know what the heck that was. And I probably shouldn't do this, but I'll just bring up. What are we going to ever know more about Ren? Okay, moving on. Now, Shikamaru I think that he has to have input in the last battle, right? Because the concept is your friends, he will come through with some genius thing, which they're able to end up pulling, everyone together in order to beat this. Okay, I think that's what's going to happen. I'm sure a lot of people are already way past me on that one. And then, yes, with Sasuke and everything else, now we get to Team Snake. Okay. What I think is going to happen, and I've kind of said this all along, is I think that Orochimaru is going to take over Sasuke, and Sasuke's going to become the Jinchuriki of this Jubi. I think that's the moment that Orochimaru has been waiting for, and he's manipulating everything around him to make that happen. That's what I think is going to happen. That's kind of crazy. You got a beast in you, but you're not that person. But anyway, it's hard to keep up with. I'll let somebody else figure that out. But I think that's what's going to happen, and that would be awesome. And then he may actually open something up to so there's some other creature or whatever. Because he's definitely, if there's anybody evil in this planet, Orochimaru has dealt with them at some time. Okay, he knows everybody evil. He does. He's the center of the knowledge. He's the spider in the spider web while everybody else is doing their little plots. That's my opinion. Awesome, awesome villain. And then, yeah, okay, and that's going to be it. That's it. Awesome chapter. I tend to rush through the chapter usually the first time. The second reading this was much more enjoyable. There's actually a lot of other little things to get into that were really cool, but I'm going to go ahead and let that go. All right, as everyone knows, if you haven't, look, it's September. if you've never made a comment before on here and you've just been kind of hanging back, and that's cool. You don't have to. But this thing's going to be over sometime early next year, unless Kishimoto changes his mind, which he could do and stretch it out a little longer. But, yeah, so if you've ever wanted to make a comment, you've seen them. There's a lot of comments, and it's, for the most part, people are actually very friendly. So this is a good place to start doing comments if you haven't before on YouTube or on this video or whatever. So, welcome. Anybody can be an anime fan. Thumbs up do help. All right, I like to see them. It just makes me feel good. You can always subscribe. You can always unsubscribe. You can do anything you want to. Until next time, take care.